pride and craftsmanship in the work itself. In this video, I'm going to talk about this concept of really taking pride in the work and tie it to construction. This is a reflection from my trip with Paul Akers to Japan. Absolutely phenomenal. And this concept is game-changing at all levels. And I'm going to give some practical advice on how we can do it and tell you some stories. So if you're interested in that, stay with us on this video. Okay, so Monozukuri, pride and craftsmanship. I'm going to go ahead and add in here a love for the customer and pride in everything that we do. I love this concept. Brandon Montero, who is a professional surveyor and a leadership development professional in construction that does Super PM boot camps with me, is always about that. One fun thing that he does, he's like, I've stamped a number of monuments because he's a surveyor, and he will take words and stamp them onto washers for people for Super PM boot camp. And people come back and they're like, was this machined? This is crazy. And Brandon Montero, if you've ever seen him, his whole persona, the way his truck is, the way everything is detailed, he's like, I'm going to take pride in my work, one piece flow. And that's where I first heard it. When I went to Japan, I was blown away at this concept. And I'm going to tell you this story, and I'll talk about this in some other videos as well. But there's something called the 7-minute miracle. There's a bullet train in Japan, which was built a long time ago. And it is so smooth and amazing and goes so fast, it just blows my mind that they were able to accomplish this. Kate, my wife, was talking about, well, in China they have multiple of these, right? Yeah, but they didn't have them back then. Like it is absolutely a feat. And I've built elevated platforms for sky trains, and I know how hard it is to get them that smooth. Anyway, it's called the Shinkansen, and it is phenomenal. Now, at the end of this, you have a 12-minute time period where the train can be cleaned and people can get on and off, and basically they do a little bit of a reset. So you have 2 minutes basically to get people off, 7 minutes to do the cleaning, and then you've got 3 to 4 minutes for people to board back on. And this is, I'm talking cleaning everything, wiping down surfaces. This is not like I'll say I used to love Southwest. I'm going to see, but it's not like a Southwest airline. I'm not criticizing him, is my point, but it's not like a Southwest Airlines pick a couple things up. I'm talking it is clean. So they have 7 minutes to clean this thing at the end of the line. Well, let me just tell you some of the things that they do. And Mr. Yabe, who was leading the 7-minute miracle, which has now been studied by Harvard and broadcast on multiple news platforms and known throughout the world as the 7-minute miracle. This is what he said. He said, if lean or TPS, the Toyota Production System, is the seeds that you want to plant in an organization, and the company and the people is the ground, then you have to water that or soften it or fertilize it to where the seeds can take root in this little parable with something called Kaizen. And Kaizen, the translation is to make better, but the concept is continuous improvement. But he said it's not just continuous improvement. It has a number of different components. Number one, in Kaizen, in order to make improvements, you must have a love of the customer. Number two, you must take pride in your work. And number three, you must have employee acknowledgement. And this is absolutely crucial to the whole concept. And so, like, you know, you think about it in construction, it's like we want our project delivery team to take pride in their work, we want trade partners to, and we want the craftsmen and women, the craftspersons, to take pride in their work. But how? And that's why I'm telling you this story. The way that they did it was they had really nice uniforms, so they felt professional. Well, actually, they have this really neat book that they wrote, which was one of the things that tipped me off to writing books for our own people, but that talked about behavioral responses, how we can go from toxic to kind and take care of people, the passengers. And then Mr. Yabe started this thing called the Angel Report, where managers or leads would literally send him personally reports on things that were done. Like, oh, this person saw that a passenger left their phone and ran to help them get it. Or there was this lady who was carrying her baby and needed help with the luggage, so helped with the luggage. Or somebody needed access to the bathroom and was really frustrated, they helped them find a different bathroom. So Literally, any one of those things gets reported, and then they turn those into slide decks or videos to celebrate them. It's the craziest thing ever. And so the overall head leader of this company, and it's Tesse, and they work for basically the overall train operations, right? But the head boss gets these reports. So people are now incentivized through acknowledgement to love their customer. And some of the stories, I'm not going to repeat all of them because I don't have time on this short 10-minute video, but some of these stories like bring you to tears, like crazy stuff. It's what we used to hear about Southwest Airlines before their decline, right? And so like absolute beautiful culture. And then pride in their work, basically what they did to make sure that they had pride in their work is those same angel report shout outs. When somebody would do a good job, they would literally be celebrated in front of everybody. And this is something interesting. Their uniforms, and they actually sometimes dressed up in costumes during holidays. They created a culture where they would come out of the train once they were done and they would bow. And the onlookers, although the Japanese people are very quiet and not very noisy, they would celebrate, clap, and then when we have the noisy Americans, right? I first heard that in Germany. we're like hooting and hollering like we're at a football game. Like it is a show. They call it the 7-minute miracle. And now the public and the company are acknowledging human beings and they feel special. And the message isn't you're just a cleaner, which in construction we have a massive problem with. Oh, you're just a worker. Oh, you're just this. No, we're not. You're not just a cleaner. You are pivotal to the operation of this train, and they are specifically told to the customer experience and to the identity of Japan. Not in a shaming manner, but like hey, you're a big deal. Even the temporary workers, because sometimes it's a bit seasonal, feel like they're a big deal. Employee acknowledgement. And in construction, it's like, oh, workers and trades are horrible. Nobody wants to work. Like we've got the wrong idea here. We have got to get to the point. If we want people to take pride in their work, where they're like, remember how, you see a good cabinet maker, or you see somebody that really knows how to tape bed and texture for drywall, or you see somebody, a craftsperson that really does good flooring, and you're like, I remember that. Well, what created that was a love of a customer, pride in their work, and an acknowledgement. And that's what's going to bring it back. So we've got to shift this to where we're like, the workers and foremen in construction are our heroes. We look up to them, and we're constantly shouting them out so they want to do a good job. It's not normal for human beings to come and graffiti and to pee in bottles and do a bad job. That is a normal reaction or response to a toxic work environment. And so, this is a big deal. If we're going to elevate craftsmanship, it really comes to that love of the customer, pride in the work, and employee acknowledgement, but mainly employee acknowledgement. And when people get the idea that you care about what they're doing, they're going to do a great job. And then there's an effect called the Hawthorne effect, which has been proven that when people are being watched, they do better. Now, not monitored Big Brother shame watched, but watched because they take pride in their work. These people now in the 7-minute miracle clean that train because they know they're serving a customer. And when they come out, they're going to bow, right? And they're going to report back, and they want to do a good job, and they're now doing it on time, and they're actually improving it and being more safe because their ideas and their head and their hands and their heart are pulled into this effort. And so the challenge is in construction, can we love the workers, love the foremen, and get them to love the customer, and get to a point where they take pride in the work because they are acknowledged for every single thing that they do. This is the next step for us. And so that's your call to action. I hope you've enjoyed this video. On we go.